Part 368. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3671. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and couldn't help thinking deeply. Actually, the cultivation system of the Protoss is very chaotic. Not relying on spiritual power, relying entirely on one's own physical body to improve one's cultivation level. This process is actually very long and consumes a lot of energy. If the cultivators of the light camp rely on this method of cultivation, I am afraid that the overall cultivation level will continue to decline. It's just because there are too many resources among the Protoss, so it doesn't matter. If we also have these resources of the Protoss, develop another 8,000 years. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes and gradually began to scatter the light. As long as we can have a protracted war with the Protoss will be defeated. What Fang Fan said is indeed not a lie, this is the answer obtained after many arguments. Relatively speaking, it is quite real. It's a pity that this wave of Protoss is fierce. Will it give them 8,000 years to develop? Fang Fan squinted his eyes, thinking to himself, all kinds of thoughts in his heart couldn't help taking off in full swing. What it will evolve into in the future is still unknown, and it is definitely no problem to improve one's own combat power. Top 10 legions, continue to improve. It would be better to squeeze out all these God Stone fragments in your hand. It's meaningless to keep the fragments of the God Stone. Only by turning it into a real force can we make the best use of it. Choose to promote the top 10 legions to the middle level holy state. Ding. Consuming 125,000 pieces of divine stones, we successfully purchased 1.25 billion saint level exclusive promotion cards, and 10 low level saint level legions were successfully promoted to mid level saint level. The Blood Shura Legion has been promoted to the mid level Saint Venerable. The Extinguishing Artillery Corps has been promoted to the mid-level Saint Venerable. Gothic Destroyer God Gatling Legion has been promoted to the middle-level Holy State. After this promotion, Fang Fan still has about 1.1 million fragments of the Sacred Stone left in his hands. Continue to be promoted to the top 10 legions. Fang Fan did not hesitate at all, and continued to take off in an all-round way. This road is to go down without any scruples. Invincible. Ding. The remaining God Stone fragments cannot promote all the top 10 legions. Ding. You can only choose to promote the 9 legions from the mid-level holy state to the high-level holy state. When the system sound came, Fang Fan raised his eyebrows subconsciously. It's a little bit worse. The top 10 legions, the palms and backs of the hands are full of flesh. For it. Which one to give up? It seems that it is not good. The ruling of the Holy Beast Legion is temporarily, let's put it on hold for a while, and it will be promoted later. Fang Fan murmured, after all, he had to make a choice, and he couldn't be careless about everything. Ding. Consuming 1.08 million God Stone fragments, we successfully purchased 10.8 billion Saint-level exclusive promotion cards, and 9 mid-level Saint-level legions were successfully promoted to high-level Saint level. The Blood Shura Legion has been promoted to the high-level Saint Venerable. The Extinguishing Artillery Corps has been promoted to the high-level Saint Realm. Gothic Destroyer God Gatling Legion has been promoted to the high-level Saint Venerable. Except for the Judgment Unicorn Saint Beast Legion, the others have been fully promoted to the high-level Saint Venerable realm, and the Judgment Unicorn Saint Beast Legion is currently stuck in the middle-level Saint Venerable realm. This overall improvement is of great significance. The increase in combat power of the top 10 legions is not just as simple as 10 times 100 times. This wave is taking off in an all-round way. With such combat strength in place, we will have greater confidence in the God of War clan in the future. In addition to this, in terms of high-end combat power, you can also continue to improve. Once the high-ranking Saint-level Blood Shura Legion uses the Army's exclusive skill Sura Unity, it can temporarily increase its combat power by 2 levels. If the high-level Holy One increases by 2 levels, it will be a quasi-demigod level combat power. At critical times, these are real combat powers that can be used. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, thinking to himself, then nodded silently, with a lot of thoughts, and the brilliance in his eyes grew more and more. This time the posture is in place, the smile on the corner of the mouth can no longer be blocked. How can one be so flustered? Stimulate excitement, a wave of explosions. Brother Fang Fan. Ahead is the barracks of the Protoss. Our mission is to investigate the situation of the Protoss barracks. Shall we check it out? Otherwise we'll go back like this, it seems a little hard to say. Kisha raised his eyebrows and walked over, and while speaking, couldn't help but smack his mouth aside, sighing deeply. For a moment, his eyes flickered, and all kinds of thoughts in his heart couldn't help but increase. Who said we're going back? Fang Fan shrugged and smiled slightly. Not going back. What's the meaning? Brother Fang Fan, do you have another plan? Brother Fang Fan, you said, we are all listening. Kisha's eyes lit up, and this wave suddenly became excited. One wave, take off. Great interest. The position we are in now is actually stuck between the Protoss city Tianlin City and the Protoss army. The Protoss army of nearly 1 million is now staring at Yuanxi Shenzhen, and they have diverted all their energy to that direction. In this way, it is easy to leave us with defensive loopholes. If we can launch an attack from the rear, we will definitely be able to cause a wave of comprehensive bombardment to the enemy. At that time, the significance will be very important. On the one hand, it can disrupt their deployment. On the other hand, it can also cause a substantial blow. It's just right, I can test the power of the Gatling Legion of Gothic Destroyer. This Gatling machine gun should also be tried. Besides that, God extinguishing cannon must also be arranged. This wave of bombardment can make the enemy dizzy. But it's best to wait until the enemy army is sending troops to attack Yuanxi God City. In this case, they won't be able to devote too much energy to targeting us. How is the situation over there now? Is there a fight? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and then asked directly. This. Gui Sha blushed. I feel that I didn't pay much attention to these just now, this wave is indeed a bit careless. My lord, the Protoss army has already set up their formation, and it looks like they are about to launch an attack on Yuanxi Shenzhen. Satan, the leader of the god-killing demon army, came over with flashes of black wings, and then reported the information he had just detected. So, then wait a little longer. It seems that these Protoss people can't hold back anymore. Interesting. This kind of bloody battlefield can better reflect masculinity. Fully armed, full-scale battle. Get ready for a first-level battle. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3672. The bloody battle is silently starting. Waiting for the right moment. Just wait for them to fight. I just waited and waited, nothing seemed to happen. 1 hour. 2 hours. 3 hours. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched subconsciously. Play. There's a lot of bells and whistles. Are you sure, you're ready to go to war? Fang Fan frowned and looked at Satan, he needed to ask more clearly. It's no problem, absolutely no problem. I saw it, and it looks like this. My lord, I think they've all mobilized before the battle. It's still standing there, how could it be, how could something happen? It shouldn't be. Satan blinked, and now he was a little confused about the situation. It's just that he checked several times, and it's always the same situation. There can't be any accidents happening at this time. To punish him on purpose? Playing him on purpose? As for what? My lord, are we going to launch an attack? Our cannons are starving. Bales, the commander of the Destroyer Artillery Corps, came over. The command sword in his hand was already trembling. This wave was really exciting. Wait, wait. The bombardment now will only scare the snake. If you really startled them, it wouldn't be worth it. At that time, they can completely attack us and concentrate all their energy on attacking us. At that time, Yuanqi Shencheng will not know what will happen, and will definitely not support us. Don't be reckless. We are like a knife piercing the enemy's heart, and we can play a more important role at critical times. But obviously, it's not now. Fang Fan squinted his eyes and raised the corners of his mouth slightly, feeling inexplicably interesting at this moment. The following changes will only appear to be more rapid. In the Protoss army at this moment, there is a little episode. These god generals of the Protoss gathered together at this moment, discussing endlessly. General Talha. I need an explanation. You said that those mysterious people will definitely appear, but let me ask you now, where are people? Could it be that if these mysterious people don't show up for a day, are we going to keep delaying like this? Do we have to delay the time to destroy the aliens? It's just a few mysterious people, why are you here? Among the Protoss, a second-class god general couldn't help but began to sneer. They have been waiting impatiently for a long time. Wouldn't it be nice to start a fight early, then end it, then massacre the city, and end up having a night out? What's going on if you continue to stay here? Don't you feel sick? That kind of restlessness is gathering in my heart, and the restlessness will only pile up more and more. There are many gods around our urging. They were particularly dissatisfied with Talha and Lugaz, the two third-class generals who had returned from defeat. In terms of impulsiveness, the former third-class general Talha was the most impulsive, but after going through a lot of tempering, he changed, and the way he changed felt a little unreal for a while. Talha, otherwise, forget it. Let's not continue to insist. This is not our home field. We are just third-class generals. We can't afford this responsibility. Rugaz, the third-class god general of the Protoss, sighed with emotion, and then reminded him from the side. No. Still can't attack. I firmly believe that these mysterious people are around us. Don't think that you are safe and sound now. They may show up at any time. Trust me. Learning lessons from the past will guide the future. Alan's second-class general disappeared mysteriously. Tens of thousands of Protoss elites died in vain. Isn't this enough to wake you up? Wait a little longer, will you wait a little longer? Maybe it won't be long. I've been waiting for so long anyway. Trust me, I am a member of the Protoss, and I will not let the Protoss suffer any losses. My whole heart is for the great cause of the Protoss. Talha, the third-class god general of the Protoss, had already put away his tyrannical temperament, and now he seemed extra cautious. Even to some extent, it seems a little too cautious. While speaking, the body trembled slightly, and the whole person seemed to be floating. Talha's sincerity is a naked insult to these arrogant Protoss. A few mysterious foreigners are going to completely restrain them. In this way, how can I mess around here in the future? Don't you want others to despise you? How can you do this kind of thing? Hold on, be sure to hold on, don't slack off in the slightest. In terms of mentality, it is even more necessary to completely collapse. One wave destroys everything, nothing. That's how it looks real. You want to be a coward yourself, don't let everyone follow you. That's right. If you are greedy for life and afraid of death, get out. Go away. Rubbish. I, a warrior of the Protoss, will not retreat. Fight. Fight. Bloody battle to the end. It's just a few foreigners, and they frighten our $1 million army here? It's ridiculous. I don't care what you think, anyway, I'm too lazy to wait. Crap. I'm almost bored to death. Is our brain broken? We've been waiting for so long, what about people? Where's the mysterious alien? We didn't find anything, maybe they've already run away. Launch an attack quickly and take down this city built by foreigners. Then we will win a big victory. I really don't know what to wait for. Don't make excuses for your crap. You bastards failed once, have you lost your fighting spirit now? It doesn't matter if you want to be bums, can you not affect our emotions? That's right, get out. Get out of here. It's annoying to watch. There were more and more shouts around. This wave swept across the board, inexplicably causing a great sense of oppression psychologically. Talha gritted his teeth and stood there persistently. He has personally experienced the power of the group of mysterious foreigners, and he has personally witnessed the mysterious disappearance of the second-class god General Allen. He also saw his crazy cannon with his own eyes. All of this seems to be flashing in front of my eyes. All the thoughts in my heart suddenly became extremely firm. Stay on the spot. There must be no slack. Full sprint. Take off in full swing. A messy environment creates a messy heart. Noisy and noisy, the atmosphere looks very bad. No matter how much these people talked, it was useless. In the end, the only one who really made up his mind was Gusha, the first-class god general of the Protoss, who was also the commander of this nearly million Protoss army. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3673. It's time to finally make up your mind. You can't just pretend to be dead like this all the time, and you can't pretend. The group of god generals were tired of shouting, and now they turned their attention to the first-class god general of the Protoss, Gusha, and asked him to make up his mind. Call. Is the quarrel over? Well. I accidentally fell asleep just now, sorry. The first-class god of the Protoss stretched Gusha, and then yawned, with a lazy expression on his face. A group of Protoss gods and generals looked at each other, and then looked at each other in blank dismay. Boy, is this okay? Master Gusa. Wait, just wait. Wait a little longer, okay. They're bound to pop up. After killing those mysterious aliens, we will fight against the alien army in front of us wholeheartedly. Master Gusha, we can't be distracted. Ancient Temple. Call. The yelling gradually became a little shrill, and the sound of breathing gradually became extremely rapid, all of which came from the most real state of mind in his heart. For a moment, there are thousands of thoughts and thoughts rushing. The thoughts take off in an all-round way. I've followed your advice before. I waited. It's almost a day after waiting. What now? Nothing at all. The great opportunity to attack was missed for no reason. If not, the full-scale attack of this day, I am afraid that the battle will have already come to an end. I said that, didn't I? Don't feel unbalanced in your heart, there is no need for this. I gave you a chance, but you didn't take it. I know your heart is good, and it's for the sake of the overall situation of the Protoss, but we can't stay with you all the time, can we? I'll give you another chance. Can you accurately judge when those mysterious aliens will appear? Within a day? Within 3 hours? Or right away? Say something. Gusha, the first-class god of the Protoss, subconsciously yawned, and then stretched his waist in a very casual manner, as if he was not very interested in everything in front of him, nor was he that interested. His posture fluttered slightly, his eyes flickered slightly, and the smiles on the corners of his mouth involuntarily increased. Whom should I tell this thought? Never mind. Me. I can't predict exactly. But Master Gushat, I. Talha wanted to say something, but was interrupted by Gushat. That's enough. Back off. If you don't want to launch an attack with the largest army, you don't have to go out with the army, just stay in the camp. Others, get ready and attack at any time. The first-class god of the Protoss, General Gushat, waved his hand, and had already locked in the pattern of this matter, and this matter was basically settled like this. Follow Master Gussa. Good Commander-in-Chief, it should have been like this long ago. Yeah, it's a waste of a day, really, what a pity. Fortunately, Master Gusha was able to stabilize at a critical moment. Go, hurry up. The mumbling voice followed, and the desire to complain gradually became stronger. Talha's lips trembled, and the persistence in his heart collapsed instantly. Why? Why didn't you trust him? He didn't lie, he really didn't lie. Facts, the facts are like this. Gritting his teeth, Talha wanted to go forward to argue, but Rugus stopped him at the critical moment. You're crazy. Our performance just now has dissatisfied Master Gucha and other generals. If we continue to toss, we still don't know what it will turn into. Stop making a fuss. That's all. If you keep doing it, it will only get more and more complicated. It's getting to this point, there's nothing you can do about it. Let him go. Perhaps that group of mysterious aliens really left long ago. What's the point of us worrying so much about it here? Rugus shook his head, obviously thinking more openly. No. Didn't leave. It's somewhere in the barracks. I can feel. At this moment they should still be watching us. Maybe still mocking us. Yes. That's right. Call. For them, you must not take it lightly. Otherwise, we will be the ones who will be defeated in the end. We can't afford to lose, we can't afford to lose. Talha muttered to himself, looking a little crazy. On the walls of Yuanshi God City. Because seeing that the armies of the Protoss had already set up their battles, the armies of the major forces above the Yuanshi God City had already been preparing for battle. It's just that they also waited for several hours, but in the end they waited for a lonely nothing. Up to now, I have only seen those Protoss troops setting up battles, but they have not come back at all. Is this gesture just for fun? On the city wall, the light camp guards the defense area. It's not right. When things go wrong, there must be a demon. Is this group of Protoss people out of their minds? What is the reason for fighting but not fighting? Interesting, really interesting. If it says there is no problem with me, I don't believe it. Absolutely tricky. Call. I don't know what happened to Fang Fan and the others. It stands to reason that the investigation should have come back a long time ago. The 100 elite scouts who followed him were driven back by him early, but where did he go? Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, squinted his eyes and stood on the tower looking into the distance. While talking on the mouth, infinite thoughts suddenly appeared in my heart. His eyes trembled slightly, his thoughts were full of thoughts, and his thoughts followed silently. Everything has changed, and the changes have made him unable to see clearly. Hey! There's nothing to worry about. My apprentice, auspicious person, has his own appearance. It's impossible for my apprentice to have an accident. Maybe werecats are taking stock of their treasures now. My apprentice is a person with great luck. The person who can kill him in this world has not yet been born. It will be fine. It will never happen. Tai Shiji couldn't help repeating. At this time, he has slowly revealed his little thoughts. While speaking, his eyes trembled slightly, all kinds of messy thoughts gathered in his heart, and he became more and more confused. In chaos, without a sense of restraint. Why? What do you say you are holding on to? After your precious disciple passed by, you would ask me about his whereabouts every half an hour. Now I'm just pretending to be okay. True hypocrisy. Wu Meiling, deputy head of Guangming Academy, rolled her eyes and couldn't help but complain. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3674. What do you, a woman, know? I was thinking about the overall situation. The main reason is to see if there is any latest intelligence news. You, don't talk nonsense. Fancy bells and whistles. Snored. Uncle G blushed. This exposed the shortcoming in place, and directly exposed Taishiji's old background. Men, when they are outside, they usually want to save face. If you insist on revealing his face and inside, you will naturally feel bad in your heart. At this time, the relationship between Taishuja and Wu Meiling has obviously gone a step further, at least there is no longer so much sense of restraint between each other. If you want to say something, just say it directly. Okay. Don't tell me. I don't know if you are so careful. Your precious apprentice is the meat on the tip of your heart. The calf protector is closer than a son. Shui Wanren twitched his lips, pointing it out straight away, not to be too real. Forget it, whatever you say. Speaking of which, that kid has indeed been gone for a long time. Nor send someone back to report the news. Tell me, how urgent this is. Don't you know that so many people are waiting for his news? This kid has always had big ideas. I don't know what's going on, and I don't know if there will be any accidents. Taishuja was deeply moved, and in the end, he was still very exhausted. The more I think about it, the more thoughts flood my heart. There are thousands of thoughts, eyes flickering, and the whole person becomes ecstatic. Everything is unknown. The Protoss is attacking the city. The Protoss army is moving. Wake up, everyone. Get up. The Protoss are coming. Quick. 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 It's finally here. Get ready. Don't slack off. The surrounding shouts gradually increased. The situation took a turn for the worse, and it seemed chaotic for a while. The Great War is finally about to start. A new rhythm is about to start. For a while, it was really exciting. Urgent battle. About to start. All of a sudden, the proportions were messed up. For Fang Fan at this moment, there is quite a feeling of guarding the clouds and seeing the moon. It finally worked. This side has already made comprehensive preparations, and it is finally in place until now. My lord. Bayless, the commander of the God Destroyer Artillery Corps, stepped forward with a smile on his face, as if he was about to do it directly. After waiting for too long, I finally got my chance and took off in a wave. Hold on. Wait a little longer. Launch after their battle is anxious. Wait for about half an hour. Anyway, I've been waiting for so long, and it's not too late. Fang Fan licked his lips, and then he was also fiddling with his middle-level Saint-level Starcore sharpshooter. The established pattern of the battle for a while has been laid down, basically it is to conduct all-round long-range strikes. After the strike is in place, then enter the small world of Shushan Pavilion to avoid, and then wait for the opportunity to find an opportunity to fight. Boy Fang Fan, I also found a stack of small-scale teleportation symbols in the inner vault of the City Lord's mansion. Look, is this thing useful? If it's really too late to dodge, just use this teleportation talisman to teleport us away. Bai Biao raised his eyebrows, and then suggested from the side, and then took out a stack of dozens of so-called teleportation symbols. Micro-range teleporter, it can instantly teleport creatures within a range of 10*10, and then teleport them to any location within a range of 1 kilometer. The introduction is clear. In fact, the meaning expressed is more real, that's all. It's almost like being able to instantly teleport people and objects within 100 square meters at one time. The scope of teleportation is within a kilometer, as for where it is, it depends on fate. I didn't expect that there was such a thing in the warehouse of the Protoss. This thing seems to be quite tasteless, after all, it is teleportation within a kilometer range, not 1,000 miles. Within a kilometer, you can reach it with a yawn. This thing is really useless to normal people, but to Fang Fan, it's like tailor-made. With this teleportation talisman, you can continue to attack in rotation. To a certain extent, it can also better cover your own figure. Interesting. Brother Bai Piao, you have done a great job this time. You picked the spoils later. Fang Fan nodded, and then praised without hesitation. Is there such a good thing? Boy Fang Fan, aren't you trying to plot something against me? You kid has never been easy to get along with. It may be necessary to do something at every turn. You're not trying to plot against me. Bai Piao looked at Fang Fan vigilantly, and couldn't help but flicker his eyes as he spoke, because he regarded Fang Fan as a thief to guard against. The speechless expression on Fang Fan's face became more and more. There's a lot of bells and whistles. Can it still work? Gossip and gossip, still gossip here. After finally thinking about giving out some benefits, this guy still looks defensive. Trust, slap, landed directly, gone. Time passed by every minute. The battle ahead has been going on for almost 20 minutes. These cultivators of the Protoss seem particularly crazy. All of them bared their teeth and claws, sprinting over frantically, with an appearance of not fearing life and death, and frantically launched an impact. At this moment, it seems that there is no fear of anything. In addition, the individual combat power of the Protoss soldiers is indeed stronger, so they are indeed fighting against the coalition forces for a while. Even though the coalition forces of the light camp, the dark camp, and the neutral camp are working very hard at this moment, the effect of resistance is still not very good. If this trend continues, it may not be long before the enemy army is about to ascend the city. At that time, you can only use flesh and blood to pave everything in front of you, and finally fight to the end with blood. This general trend can be regarded as established. Kill. Kill. Kill these foreigners. Kill them all. Foreigners. Die. The Protoss is invincible. The gods are invincible. Waste. The yelling in front became more and more explosive, and for a while, the bloody wind swept across the board, and for a while, people's brains were collapsing. My mind is full of thoughts, my eyes flicker, and I don't know how to control myself. This state is a bit numb. About there. Destroyer Artillery Corps. Fire. Gothic Destroyer Gatling Legion. Full sweep. Sweep. The rest of the major legions, prepare for the enemy's counter-surprise attack. Fight. Bloody battle. Bloody battle. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3675. Fighting fiercely in the bloody wind, this feeling is naturally different. The tearing wind is very clear. Obey my lord. The Destroyer Artillery Corps is ready. Gothic Destroyer Gatling Legion is ready. The Blood Shuro Legion is ready to take its place. Boom. Rumbling. The Mission Artillery Corps began to quickly form Mission POW. Each of them is holding a piece of cannon parts in their hands, combined together, it is a cannon that destroys gods. Wrong. Why does it look more majestic than before? The god-destroying cannon used to be huge, but compared to this one, It's far from it. This caliber. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and suddenly his eyes lit up. My lord, with our promotion, Mi Shenpao has also received a comprehensive upgrade. The current extinguishing cannon is a 2000 mm caliber. The power is 100 times stronger than before. Bayless held his head high and said proudly. Fang Fan. It's numb, really numb. The caliber of 1000 mm is already powerful enough. With one shell, thousands of enemies in a radius of hundreds of meters can be covered in all directions. 2000 mm caliber. In all aspects, be steady, a little rampant. Indeed, really should be pressed down a bit, a little unstoppable. I'm afraid the whole line will be cold. That scene was so exciting. The mentality will also follow the blood collapse on the spot. The more I think about it, the more I can't grasp it. It was too exciting. When the 2000 mm caliber Mi Shen cannon fired shells, everything in front of him was completely covered to the extreme. The reserve soldiers of the Protoss who were preparing for the battle suddenly heard a loud noise, and then the scene in front of them suddenly changed. For a moment, their eyes flickered, their expressions abrupt, their thoughts changed, and they no longer knew how to express it. Then, what the hell is that? What a terrifying existence. Something fell from the sky. Is that a star core shell? How can there be such a big star core shell? Silly, run away. Among the Protoss, who knows who yelled, and then quickly started to run away. Mentality, bleeding on the spot. Regardless of whether this is a star core shell or not, one thing worth affirming is that it is definitely not a good thing. If it really falls down, it will definitely die. If you don't believe me, you can really try it out. The smarter Protoss people are already running away quickly. But it's really too late to think about running away at this time. The speed of this cannonball is not that slow. The 2000 mm destroyer shells fell. Boom. Everything in front of him is completely silent. Completely disappear. Everything is cooler than this. The scene is crazy to the extreme. For a moment, his lips were trembling, and many words were blocked in his heart, and he couldn't speak. Numb, directly numb. That's it? Tens of thousands of dense enemy troops within a radius of thousands of meters disappeared in an instant. Basically, it was reimbursed in an instant. The current God-extinguishing artillery corps exists in the high-level Saint Venerable realm, and the power of the God-extinguishing cannon is naturally also in the high-order Saint Venerable realm. Within the range covered by the shell's power, basically the enemies below the high-ranking Saint realm can't handle it. A small number of middle-rank Saints and high-rank Saints were barely able to save their lives. But even if the individual combat power of the soldiers of the Protoss army is very strong, they are still limited to a certain range. Ordinary soldiers are basically around the 5-star sanctuary level. Only when you reach the level of squadron leader, can you be a holy race of gods. One can imagine how terrifying the high-level saint-level cannonballs are. For a while, there is no need to say anything else, I understand everything. The commander of the Protoss and the first-class god of the Protoss, who was directing the battle ahead, turned Gushaz's stiff neck, and his eyes were slightly surprised at this moment. What's the situation? Where did the loud noise come from? What's the situation? What happened next? Those idiots, could it be that they blew themselves up collectively? The first-class god of the Protoss frowned at Gushaz, with a look of disgust on his face. Hateful. Do something for him at this critical moment. Disturb his fighting thoughts, disrupt his fighting order. Master Gussa. Problem occurs. Yes, it's the rear, it's the rear. I don't know why a group of people came from the rear. Whirring. Master Gussa. They have mysterious weapons. It seems, it seems to be the star nuclear cannon of the alien race that we have seen before. The messenger spoke tremblingly, his lips murmured wildly, and his state of mind became extremely horrified for a moment. Star nuclear cannon. Do you dare to deceive this general? It's not like I haven't seen the star core cannons of those aliens before. How can they be so powerful? How dare you lie? Die. Gushat, the first-class god general of the Protoss, changed his face drastically, and then he stretched out his hand and slapped the messenger on the shoulder in front of him viciously. Click. The messenger's left shoulder collapsed in an instant, dripping with bone stubble, and he gritted his teeth and squeezed silently. Then it became smashed little by little. Ah! Woo, woo! Ancient, god general of the ancient temple. I didn't lie. Really, it's all true. That is the star core cannon. It's just that the power is much stronger than usual. Cough, 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 cough. Call. Ah. I didn't lie. The trembling posture was fully displayed, the orderly gritted his teeth, and his mentality completely collapsed. While speaking, the whole person became numb. The extreme pain swept across his face, and he couldn't even utter a word clearly. Too painful. Star nuclear cannon. How can it be? How many casualties? How many have we lost? Say. The voice of Gushat, the first-class god general of the Protoss, gradually became shrill, and for a while, it seemed to have an extremely strong sense of piercing, which made people tremble in the depths of their souls. With a lot of thoughts, my lips are murmured, and I don't know how to express it. It is more than words. I don't know. God of the ancient temple, Lord God General. Please let me go. I'm just an orderly. I don't know that much. The Protoss messenger was crying, his face was numb. Too difficult. Why is it his turn to take the blame? If I knew it earlier, I would have held on, and would not come forward. It's really shameless to shoot the bird who stands out. The more I thought about it, the more upset I felt, and my whole body became numb, and it was nothing. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3676. You don't know, then who knows? Speak, speak. Ah. Who will tell this general? Everyone is dumb now. Hateful. Say something. A bunch of trash. Gushat, the first-class god general of the Protoss, had a gloomy face, and the development of the situation was somewhat beyond his imagination. He suddenly had a very bad premonition in his heart. If these premonitions come true, it's over, it's over. Inexplicably panicked in my heart. Everything in front of me is changing. The first shelling. Tens of thousands of damage. And the second bombardment just took place. Now more than 20,000 people have been damaged. It's that group of mysterious foreigners. Master Gucha, I told you a long time ago, they can't be underestimated. I knew earlier that this group of mysterious aliens would appear. Back then, we shouldn't have launched a general attack so anxiously. Master Gucha. You are wrong. You are so wrong. I reminded you like that back then, why didn't you listen? The group of mysterious aliens are even more tyrannical than before. They are right behind us now, launching a full-scale attack on us. Master Gusa. The third-class god General Talha of the Protoss came forward with a gloomy face, and his face became more and more ugly while talking. From his point of view, these casualties could have been avoided. If there is no general attack on this foreign city, if you continue to wait for a while, When these mysterious foreigners show up, the main force of their Protoss will directly counter-attack and kill them all in minutes. But now all hope of this has come to an end. It's all right now, with such a situation, heavy losses, and being attacked from behind by this mysterious alien. If this continues, who knows what will happen? At this moment, there is only endless resentment in my heart. Hateful. Simply hateful. The more I think about it, the more anxious I feel. For Talha at this moment, naturally there is no such thing as a good temper, and it is already extremely good that he did not rush forward to scold his mother. The face of Gushat, the first-class god of the Protoss, turned even darker. How can he feel happy when he is pointed at his nose by a third-class god general? After all, in the final analysis, this is indeed his strategic mistake. At this moment, there was endless restlessness in my heart. Thousands of thoughts, many thoughts. So why don't you go and kill those foreigners? Go. What's the use of talking about this with me? Go, kill them quickly. Damn. Gusha said with a cold face, viciously. He. I want to go there too. But Master Gusha, you have dispatched the main force to the front line to attack this foreign city. I have no soldiers in my hands. What can I do? I'm desperate too. If Lord Gusha could have followed my advice earlier, why would we have fallen into such a passive situation? The cold snort continued. Gusha, the third-rank god general of the Protoss, still looked extremely ugly. While speaking, the endless killing intent flickered in the eyes. A wave of crushing is in place, and everyone who understands it naturally understands. There is no need to say more about the other ones, the feeling is completely swept away. God Race Commander Gusha silently narrowed his eyes. His patience is also limited. It's fine to swear a few words and complain, this matter is indeed the fault of the God General, so the God General will be patient. But what do you mean when you keep saying that there is something and nothing? Do you have to let this God sweep your face to the ground to be comfortable? No soldiers, can't you go? Who gave you the guts to tell you what to do in front of this God General? This God will give you 50,000 troops. If you can't take these people down, this God will want your head. Front, continue to attack me. The rear, don't mess around either. The first-class god of the Protoss narrowed Gusha's eyes, and there was a sinister light in his eyes. 50,000. Continue to attack the city. What's the meaning? Master Gusha, do you still have to take care of killing the mysterious aliens and attacking the city at the same time? The siege should be stopped immediately, and then the target should be changed to attack those mysterious foreigners. As for completely killing these mysterious aliens, we can safely and boldly launch a full-scale attack on this city. Learning lessons from the past will guide the future. Master Gusha, you won't forget it so quickly, will you? What is the situation now? Don't you have any points in your heart? It's all like this, haven't you learned your lesson yet? You. Talha, the third-class god general of the Protoss, had an incredulous expression on his face. He didn't quite understand why these superiors had such weird ideas. You have been fooled again and again, and you still want to be fooled. Do you have to toss this little force to feel comfortable? Is this the idea? Will the blood of these warriors of the Protoss be shed in vain? What are the thoughts in this heart? I don't understand it, and I don't understand it more and more. Invisibly, it feels extremely strange. The strange feeling, superimposed on the whole, is nothing. This God will do things, do you still need to teach? Now withdraw all the siege troops, do you know how much damage will be caused? On top of that, morale can drop very quickly. And if these foreigners watch us retreat and choose to pursue the victory, our damage will be even greater. Madness. 50,000 troops is already the limit. Hurry up and take it to stabilize the audience. If things continue to happen in the rear, I'll take you as a questioner. Gushat, the commander of the Protoss, rubbed his swollen and sore head with a look of irritability. Talha Seafood wanted to continue yelling something, but at the critical moment, Rugas pulled him away. Rugas' forehead was covered with sweat at the moment. It's too scary. This little brother of his is indeed too explosive. Can't you calm down a little bit? By the way, what are these things? With every word and deed, the sense of panic and anxiety is gradually in place. With a lot of thoughts, the whole person is numb to the extreme. Nothing, just playing around like this. That is the first-class general of the Protoss, and the commander-in-chief of the army of nearly 1 million Protoss. In Tianlin City, besides the city lord, who else can suppress this ancient temple god general? This is a real existence under one person and above 10,000 people. Talha. Do not talk. Hurry up and lead your troops to kill those mysterious aliens. If this toss continues, the damage to our Protoss will only be greater. This cannon will cause casualties of tens of thousands of soldiers and horses. Who can withstand this? Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3677. Rugas, another third-class god general of the Protoss, trembled, and immediately reminded him. Things have developed to this point, we must stabilize and stabilize. Why are you pulling me? I just want to explain this truth to Mr. Gucha. Hey, it's not right to go on like this. This situation is chaos. I'm right. Haven't we suffered enough before? Why? Too difficult. This matter is a mess. Master Gus's labor and capital will not turn. Really are. Talha muttered, and couldn't help making complaints from the side. The more I think about it, the more restless I feel in my heart. All kinds of emotions in my heart are gathered in place, and I can't help but wander off. You have to make this matter clearer. Rugas on the side was speechless. Did you really not know, or did you do it on purpose? What was the situation just now? Did you really have no points in your heart? It's really scary. Didn't you see Master Gucha's face turned pale? I'm afraid that if you continue talking, Master Gucha will slap you to death. Master Gucha has never been easy to get along with, this time it is his fault, otherwise he can do nothing. Talha, when will your reckless temper change a little bit? If you go on like this, you will really have an accident. Hey, how many times have I told you, but you just don't listen, and you never listen. Really are. Fancy bells and whistles. A muttering sound followed, and then a sigh was fully felt. Others don't need to say much for the time being, this gesture is revealed, and everyone understands it. That's basically it. The most important thing is to have a stable mentality. There is no need to care about the other things that are missing. Only by controlling the rhythm can we take off. Snort. What do I care about these? I am for the Protoss, for Tianlin City. Where can I manage so much? Fortunately, we also have 50,000 troops in our hands. As long as the deployment is available, it's no problem to kill the group of mysterious aliens. This time, we will definitely not let them escape. Let everyone spread out. Comprehensive dispersion. That way their giant guns won't be able to cause mass destruction. When we swarm to them, the cannon will lose its power. If it really comes to that time, the situation should be stable. This time, they must not be allowed to run again. I'd like to see where they can go this time. I can't escape anywhere. Surround them all around me. Talha, the third-class god general of the Protoss race, was talking, and then his steps became faster and faster. As he spoke, the eyes flickered all over, his thoughts were full of thoughts, and his expression gradually became extremely ugly. His eyebrows were furrowed, and various thoughts in his heart gradually increased. Thoughts, gradually became chaotic. For Fang Fan at this moment, he is still in a good mood. The newly upgraded god-killing cannon is powerful. The deity-extinguishing artillery core of the high-level Saint Venerable realm is really extraordinary. At least when facing a large-scale enemy army, it can basically cover all aspects. As long as the front block is in place, you can bomb infinitely. Even if the enemy is dispersed, the killing power is still very strong because the bombing range of the god-killing shells can reach a radius of 1 kilometer. My lord, the enemy is coming. About 50,000 to 60,000 people. It's very scattered. In this way, the power of our god-extinguishing cannon will be greatly reduced. One shell can at most kill 1,000 enemy troops, not even. Bales, the commander of the God Destroyer Artillery Corps, stepped forward with a perplexed expression on his face. The power of this bombing has dropped, and I am naturally unhappy in my heart. Your artillery doesn't need to bomb the surrounding Protoss soldiers. Continue to set up your cannons, and hit the Protoss army before the Yuanchi God City as much as possible. During the siege, they won't be scattered all the time, right? In this way, the enemy can be hit to the greatest extent. Fang Fan shrugged, then said calmly. Ah! What about, the enemy troops around here? They're all rushing over. If we sprint over, our god-extinguishing cannon won't be able to exert its power. This. Bayless couldn't help opening his mouth, his expression was very complicated. Naturally, this situation must be fully controlled. It's complicated. You can't wander around, he still knows the reason why a wave destroys everything. Fine. Just choose the place where the enemy troops gather to bomb. As for the enemies on the periphery, and the Gothic Gatling army, it's time to show a wave of their power. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, looked at the 12 brand new Gatlings, and felt a little anticipation in his heart. I'll have some fun later. The effective range of the Gatling machine gun is almost 10,000 meters away. As for the range of Mi Shen Run, it can basically cover 100,000 meters away. With the comprehensive upgrade of weapons, the power and range will naturally be fully superimposed. There is no doubt about it. There is no need to say anything about the others, they understand everything. The situation can also be stabilized slowly. There is no doubt about it. Fang Fan pondered for a while, his mind couldn't help being completely deflected, and his thoughts gradually increased. The next things will slowly expand. My lord. It's almost within our range. Hans, the leader of Goth's Gatling Legion, walked over, rubbed his hands, and blushed. This is the first battle after the Gothic Destroyer Gatling Legion has been fully upgraded. In a way, it's actually quite hopeful. How it should work in the future is the most important thing. All-round attack, slowly, is about to take off. All of a sudden, all kinds of oppressive forces gathered in my heart. Start, standing in different positions, strafing. Do not stop. Supply card, full supply. Not enough, use the star core to replenish energy. Don't be afraid of wear and tear. Attack. Fang Fan's eyes suddenly widened, and then the corners of his mouth rose up. What should come, will always come. The start of the explosive version is coming. Crazy Gatling burst out at this moment. Fang Fan seemed to have seen the bloodshed around him. One will succeed, 10,000 bones will die. Wars, especially wars between different ethnic groups, always seem so cruel. Finally, full bloom. The situation is developing. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3678. I haven't received any blows until now. Their guns are dumb, too. Hee hee. It seems our tactics are working. Although the power of this giant cannon is strong, in general, it's just like that. Dealing with a gathered army is tough, but once we disperse, we basically lose our biggest support. Just like it is now, basically it doesn't have much power. Ah! Mysterious aliens, see how you run this time. This is a dead end. Finally able to take revenge. The third-class god General Talha of the Protoss clenched his hands fiercely, and his breathing gradually became extremely rapid. Everyone seemed to be trembling. This mysterious foreigner was like a nightmare, spinning around in his mind all the time, almost crushing him to pieces. Endless panic can't help but gather in the depths of my heart. The more I think about it, the more frightened I become, the more I think about it, the more frightened I become. The moment is to grasp the moment, not to wander around at will. Hold on to take off. I always feel, not quite right. Something too quiet. Talha, don't take it lightly. Let the soldiers speed up and rush over to surround them, so as not to have long nights and dreams. If you continue to toss like this, it will only cause more changes. Rugas swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and a trace of panic appeared inexplicably in his heart. I always feel that something is wrong, I always feel that something will happen. A heart couldn't help beating silently. Rugas, why are you more cautious than me now? Don't worry, these mysterious aliens are not bad, but the main reason is that they have a strong ability to appear and disappear. Another one is that their cannons are very powerful. Aside from these two things, in fact, it's just like that. Talha pouted, feeling that victory was in sight at this moment, so the whole person seemed a little smug. The more you think about it, the more smiles will appear on the corners of your mouth, your thoughts will overflow, and your ideas will overflow. Boom. Bang bang bang. Da da da. Da 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 da. Suddenly, a series of ferocious gunshots broke the tranquility of this area. Immediately, the Protoss soldiers lined up in front were shot into sieves one by one, and then fell straight down. On the ground, scarlet. For a time, there were heavy casualties. In the face of the ferocious Gatling machine gun, that bit of distraction doesn't have much meaning and value. Because the rate of fire of the Gatling gun is too fast, too fast. Every minute, one Gatling machine gun can fire thousands of bullets, and 12 extremely powerful Gatling guns can fire more than 10,000 bullets. Such an oppressive posture makes people feel frightened and disturbed for a while. As for the other ones that are there or not, it is naturally out of control. In the end, there will only be the moment of death. In the depths of his mind, the sense of panic seemed particularly real. As for the other ones that are there or not, they are not that important. What's the situation? It's not right, it's not right. Gudong. Is this some kind of mysterious weapon? Although the power is not as terrifying as that of the giant cannon, it is too sustainable. This is simply impossible to move forward. Lugas, the third-class god general of the Protoss, looked numb for a moment at the Protoss soldiers who kept falling in front of him. The more he looked, the more numb he became, and his thoughts were in turmoil. Are those predictions before becoming real so soon? Immediately, are you about to endure a brand new crisis? How should I deal with this? This time, how to control? I can't stand it, I really can't stand it. Talha, or else, otherwise, it's better to withdraw the army. The situation is not right. Go back and discuss with Lord Gussa. Rugas rubbed his lips, held his breath, and said quickly. Boom. Just at this time, the 2000 mm caliber destroyer cannon was dispatched again. Immediately, traces were drawn in the air, and it landed directly in front of the Yuanshi god city, knocking out the dizzy soldiers of the gods who gathered to launch the siege. Another tens of thousands of injuries. Talha looked into the distance, his eyes flickered slightly, his thoughts were full of thoughts, his thoughts were rushing, his expression was abrupt, and his thoughts were longing. That's too late. Going back now, Master Gucha may really want to kill us all. Call. This road is blocked. We have to show some results. At least the cannonball can't continue to be blasted out. Continuing such bombardment, the siege army of our Protoss will only suffer heavy losses. Rush. Rush. Pass me the order. Charge. Take down those thieves for me. Come on. Gritting his teeth, Talha immediately gave the command to charge. This is basically staring at the bullets blocked by the Gatling machine gun. The Gothic destroyer Gatling Legion is also a high-level saint. This wave is basically unresolved. Apart from working hard, it seems that there are not many other ways. Just feeling a little tingly. It's getting harder and harder. Just like this, the full-scale stabbing was carried out, and the brain was about to burst. Mysterious alien. In the end, what kind of a group of existences are there? Why? Why is it so powerful? How are their weapons made? It's a giant cannon again, and this kind of, small cannon. Too crazy. If our Tianlin city can also have such a powerful weapon, then, let alone these foreigners, even if they want to sweep away other God Clan cities, it is no problem to unify the God Clan. In this way, it is not necessarily a bad thing to meet these mysterious foreigners at this moment. If you can grasp it well, maybe you can turn this bad thing into a good thing. In this way, it's really an opportunity. Kill these aliens, snatch the weapons in their hands, and then develop our own. Talha squinted his eyes, and his heart couldn't help but become lively. The more he thought about it, the more his thoughts expanded. Silently, followed by a full takeoff. Rush. Rush. Don't hesitate. Speed up. Talking to you. Are you all dumb? Don't you understand? Hurry up. If anyone hesitates to fight, kill him directly. Kill. Kill. Talha bit his lip, and strands of blood left the corners of his mouth. At this moment, he was like a mad warrior. When he spoke, he seemed to completely overthrow everything before the postponement. Only in this way can he stabilize his heart a little bit. At this time, there is no need to say anything else, just rush forward. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3679. Of course, what awaits them now is endless casualties. Under the complete blockade of 12 Gatling guns, no one can rush through it, no one can. Corpses piled up like a mountain. Blood, flowing like a river. If it goes on like this, everything will really be completely anxious. The restless heart, trembling expression, everything burst out at this moment. I don't know what is going on in my heart, but it seems a little numb for a while. I want to express my thoughts in my heart, but I can't make an accurate expression. Inexplicably, it feels like something is blocked in the throat. I can't continue. I can't fight anymore. This is the way to die. My lord, you can't lead us to a dead end. Yes, my lord, the firepower blockade ahead is too strong. The brothers died as soon as they got close. Even if we are all buried here, it's useless. My lord, you can't really let us just die like this. The murmurs followed. These Protoss soldiers are indeed not afraid of death, but they are not willing to die so inexplicably. It always feels like nothing is being done. And if you do this, you will feel bloody inexplicably. The road ahead is completely blocked, and if you continue to deal with it, your mentality will really collapse. Nothing, just playing. At the end of the game, he took his own life. In the end, it will only end in an all-round way. Death, that is only a momentary thing. It's boring, it's worthless, it's nothing. At this moment, in addition to the sound of the Gatling machine gun firing, there are also God-killing cannons firing again and again. Full launch. Suppress all dissatisfaction. Crazy, yet hopeless. In front of Yuanqi God City. Gu Shat, the first-class God General of the Shenzhou and the President of the Shenzhou, watched the soldiers who attacked the city being attacked again and again by the God-killing cannon, and his face became more and more ugly. Damn. Why haven't the group of foreigners been resolved yet? Damn thing. Asshole. All bastards. Where's that trash Talha? How did he promise me? How did it become like this now? The god will give him 50,000 soldiers and horses, can't he stop? The shells behind us keep firing back and forth, how can we fight? Damn. Damn it all. You're an asshole. The warriors of my Protoss are not used for such wear and tear. Gu Shat, the commander of the Protoss, was grinding his teeth, and the resentment in his heart surged to the extreme. The more I think about it, the messy it gets. On the forehead, the brows were furrowed, and there was an inexplicable urge to vomit blood. You bastard, what exactly do you want to do? One counts as one, they're all jerks. The more I thought about it, the more anxious I felt. At this moment, one heart is about to be oppressed to the extreme. Anger. And crazy. I want to completely wipe out everything in front of me. Only in this way can I feel a little more comfortable. If we continue to attack according to this trend, we will only continue to humiliate ourselves. At that time, the probability of failure will continue to add up. Originally, in the siege battle, the Protoss army still had a certain advantage, but now this advantage has disappeared, and it has turned into a series of disadvantages. Some are happy and some are sad. There are those who feel sad and resentful, and naturally there are also those who are happy. Because of this unnecessary bombardment, the siege of the Protoss suffered a great blow. At this time, the Allied forces on the Yuanqi God City can also breathe a sigh of relief. At this moment, they were discussing a lot, discussing how did the huge and powerful shells fired from the back of the Protoss come from. It seems that it fell here suddenly, and it is inexplicably shocking. The power of the shell just now was too strong. You can see that there are at least a few thousand more Protoss people in that giant pit. How many thousand? Huh. The layout is too small. At least tens of thousands. It's awesome, just who fired the shell? It wasn't fired from our Yuanqi God City. The shell came from behind. Could it be that the Protoss launched it themselves? Are they fighting among themselves? Hee, do you think this is possible? It sounds gaudy to me. This is unlikely, maybe the true God is helping us. By the way, it must be that my prayer just now had an effect, and the true God heard it? Then came to help us. Can we be a little more normal? The possibility of this is even smaller. Hey, anyway, this is a great thing for us. Think about it, when this shell bombards the Protoss people, it can kill tens of thousands of them in an instant. If it bombards our Yuanqi God City, will our Yuanqi God City be able to withstand this level of bombardment? Wouldn't we just cool down at that time? CAO, if you want to say that, it's really. If this is the giant cannon of the Protoss, it just missed the shot just now, and then hurt one of our own people, wouldn't it be even more terrifying? Good on. Think about it carefully, what if this giant cannon hits later? We are really doomed. Hey, this road is blocked to death, it's cold, it's really cold. So painful, so desperate, nothing. Cool and moonlight, I am practicing to the end. There were joyful voices in the discussion, but there were also anxious ones, and there were more and more things to say. Everyone's mood swings also seemed a little big. Thinking about things has gradually become more complicated. At this moment, the position guarded by the light camp in Yuanqi Shencheng. Good guy. My apprentice, again against the sky. This is definitely the cannon fire fired by my apprentice. My disciple used this cannon before when I was in the God City of the 7th Academy. At that time, I already felt that this giant cannon was very strong, but I didn't expect that the stronger one was yet to come. Ha! Ha ha ha! My apprentice is amazing. Hey, how can you be so invincible? Tisk, tisk tisk. Uncle G dances lightly. The moment is full of excitement and excitement. The other ones are not there, and there is no need to care much about them. Anyway, this wave took off directly. The whole person, lingering and forgetting to return, full of thoughts. The previous feelings, depression, sentimentality, and worries disappeared completely. This guy is a dog, and his face can change at will. Just now, he looked aggressive, but now he looks excited. Really are. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, shook his head and sighed silently. Anyway, I have long been used to it. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3680. Anyway, this is not the first time. That's basically the way it is. What's wrong? I don't agree. It's okay if you don't accept it, that's my apprentice. If you have the ability, go and train such a good apprentice yourself. Tisk, you can't. Uncle G shook his hair, and when he spoke, he felt quite elated. Okay, don't be shy. If you continue to chatter, everyone really thinks you are crazy. Wu Meiling, deputy head of Guangming Academy, shook her head, and then reminded her. This guy never stopped. What's wrong? My disciple's combat power is infinite. Is it okay if I feel comfortable? Who is upset? Let him come. Snort. Every one of them wants to be lemon essence or something. Is it difficult to admit that my apprentice is excellent? Tai Shiji raised his head and chest, and became more and more excited as he spoke. At this time, I just want to float. You, take it easy. At present, everyone still doesn't know that Fang Fan made the noise. We all know Fang Fan's temperament, so we can all guess it, but others may not. Now it's better to hold on to it and not be too sloppy. It's not good if someone with a heart catches you. Especially over there. When Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, said this, he suddenly shook his head, implying strongly. What he was talking about was naturally the president of the Light Camp and the first-class saint of the Temple of the Light Alliance, Wangtu. Because of God's blessing, there was a grudge between this guy and Fang Fan. So now we have to guard against it? That dog thief. Snort. It's fine if he doesn't respond, but if you really want to mess with this matter, I won't spare him. The matter of my apprentice is bigger than the sky. Tai Shiji gritted his teeth and said with a dissatisfied expression. So what? Are you going to fight that guy desperately? Can you be a little more sensible? Do you have to do those fearless impulses? The key is meaningless, do you know? When that kid Fang Fan comes back, it's up to him what to do. Let's stop messing around. However, he really deserved a lot of credit for this battle. If he is really willing to show his military exploits, then the rewards that the Allied forces gathered together will probably belong to him. The Light Camp, the Dark Camp and the Neutral Camp, in order to win over the hearts of the army and make everyone fight to the death, each spent huge sums of money to set up the Hall of Merit. Contribution points are calculated according to the number of Protoss killed. If you contribute points, you can exchange them for various treasures. This kid will kill all the Protoss if he shoots it down. There are still a lot of Protoss in the holy state, and this contribution point will be even more. When the time comes, I will go to the Hall of Merit and merit. What can I not get in exchange for? I can't understand this kid more and more. Hey, too strong. Too strong. Talented people come out from generation to generation, each leading the way for tens of thousands of years. How long has this kid only debuted? He's already able to stir up trouble. Old, we are really old. The future belongs to these young people. Why? Monster, monster. In the future history, this kid will definitely be marked with a lot of color. It is the highest honor of my Guangming Academy to accept this kid as a student. Shui Wanren raised his eyebrows, and sighed silently in his heart at this moment. The more you think about it, the more confused your thoughts become. Thoughts gathered here, he couldn't help laughing bitterly. Those who know the truth, such as Uncle Ji Shui Wanren, feel inexplicably comforted when they see this powerful shell falling at this moment. As for those who don't know why, naturally they can only be shocked and practiced. Cao Tang, the lord of Guangming God City, narrowed his eyes, which could not help flickering with dangerous light. There is a problem. And the problem is still big. It is impossible for this shell to appear for no reason. And several times in succession. There must be something tricky in it. No matter how stupid the Protoss is, it's impossible for them to blow themselves up. It can only be done by our own men in the Allied forces. Who on earth has such a penetrating ability? I have never seen such a powerful star nuclear cannon. If we had such a powerful star core cannon, we wouldn't have been suppressed by the Protoss before. Why do I always feel wrong? Just now, Grand Uncle Shui Wanren's reaction was not right. Is this about them? Cao Tang, the lord of Guangming God City, licked his lips, and his gaze followed silently. My thoughts became more and more complicated. Father, what do you mean? Are you saying that this powerful shell was produced by Guangming Academy? He, don't be ridiculous. Don't you know what their strength is? There are only 2 demigods supporting it, and the overall combat power is nothing. It's also possible to hit the edge of the ball. What can they achieve? I really look up to them. I have never paid attention to this Guangming Academy. I just want to kill Fang Fan from the Guangming Academy. Cao Man, deputy head of Guangming Academy, was grinding his teeth, but he still couldn't let go of this hatred in his heart. The more he thought about it, the more he felt unhappy. There are a lot of thoughts this time, and the thoughts are rushing to the extreme. Anyway, it still looks a bit messy. The messy feeling gradually became numb, and it was nothing. Etc. What did you say? Say it again. Quick. Say it again. The eyes of Cao Tang, the lord of Guangming God City, lit up, his breathing gradually became faster, and he naturally thought more. Ah. Say what? I said that I didn't pay attention to this Guangming Academy. Father, you don't even lose this pattern, do you? This Guangming Academy is a hammer, it's nothing, we don't need to care at all. Cao Man twitched his lips, and followed suit. Not this sentence, the next sentence, the last sentence. City Lord Cao Tang's eyes became brighter. I said I would kill Fang Fan from Guangming Academy. He has entrapped me so many times, this matter must not be left alone. Humph. In the future, I will definitely have revenge. Father. Don't stop me then. You have to help me. After all, you are my father. Don't keep thinking about currying favor with that Fang Fan. What is that Fang Fan? Now even Lord Wangsheng wants to kill him. Why don't we join hands with Wangsheng? The young city lord Cao Man muttered, and his words gradually increased. Anyway, he had some complicated feelings in his heart. The more you talk, the more deeply you feel. Correct. This is it. Everything is right. The City Lord CAO-10 heaved a sigh of relief, he figured it out.